On this episode of Our Little Warehome, we're going to explore the possibility of using edible plants in our landscaping.
We're the Branch family, just ordinary people who decided to buy an 80-year-old warehouse and turn it into our downtown family home. Come along with us and experience all the hard work and thousands of decisions it's going to take to turn this derelict warehouse into our little warehome.
Welcome to our yard. It has all the basics: trees, bushes, grass, and a few dead flowers. It's a nice yard, but we were thinking, why not have a yard that's not only nice to look at, but it also produces food?
How cool would that be, Sarah?
Yeah, food everywhere. Strawberries, tomatoes.
But no olives.
Turning a yard into a food forest sounds great, but I do have some concerns. The warehouse that we are renovating downtown has limited outdoor space, so we may not have enough room. I'm not sure the food we want will even grow in our climate. We don't want to spend a lot of time maintaining it. Not to mention, gardening is sometimes confusing, and my thumbs are not green at all.
It's true, Mom kills plants.
So many plants.
To make this food forest idea work, we got up with our buddy Calvin, who is a local gardening guru. He invited us to his home to see his own personal food forest and discuss our options.
Hey, I'm Cal Chester, and I design, install, and maintain edible landscapes that are not only beautiful, but really tasty.
Now, how long have you been doing this? How long have you had this
So
out
this
here?
yard is probably a little over 5 years old, probably five and a half years old. We're on 0.23 acres, so in a small little space like this in a suburban, plot, anybody can do this. So as you can see, there's over 750 plants back here, arranged in different ways, different layers. But let me show you the raised beds so you can grow vegetables and leafy greens.
Okay.
I utilize hugelkultur for my raised beds. The decaying wood allows plants to wick out water, and the temperatures stay cool in the summertime and warm in the winter. Honestly, within this little bed, you easily have, 6-7 salads worth of plants right now. In order to harvest the right way, you just pick a little bit from each plant, so you're never really killing one plant.
Okay.
You're just taking a leaf from here, a leaf from there, and pretty soon you have a salad's worth of stuff, but you're never really depleting what would be your principal plant.
I got you. Is this cabbage?
This is collards, and the reason why they're this big is the hugel.
Massive.
So you have so much nutrients that are concentrated, especially on the edges. Leafy greens and herbs do awesome on the edges of the hugel beds. And like I said, when you're gonna harvest something like this guy, you would just pick off, from the bottom as there. This guy's huge,
That's
so.
massive.
So I hear comments all the time working in the field with people. These plants don't grow well here. You're gonna have trouble with oranges because it gets too cold. And my solution, microclimates. So a microclimate is a climate within a climate. Here in sunny Panama City Beach, Florida, we're in zone 8B, but we can grow some things that are in 10A, but also 5 as well, because we utilize microclimates. For instance, it's about 90 degrees here in Panama City Beach today, and underneath this mulberry trees, it's a cool 75, which means this basil can grow throughout the rest of the summer, which makes me happy because I love putting basil in my pizza.
I'm sold on this food forest idea, so I asked Calvin to come downtown to look at the area that we want to develop. We have a small backyard and concrete everywhere. In the summer, we get a southern breeze, and in the winter, we get a strong northern wind. Calvin has his work cut out, for sure.
So you got a pretty good space here. We're gonna have to get creative, because it's kind of a weird shape.
Yeah.
But with that, we have a lot of different options. We have a lot of different layers we can use. So some of the challenges of this particular space is it's got a lot of finite amount of growing spaces, meaning that there's gonna be a lot of impermeable surfaces, patio area, stuff like that. A lot of these challenges that we're faced with are gonna actually present themselves with a little bit of creativity as opportunities for us to do something different, do something aesthetic, but also do something really productive.
So currently our plans are to bring the slab level up for privacy, and then we'll build up the flower garden or whatever.
You want it for privacy. You want to screen somebody's view out, but you also want to be able to look out a little bit. And what we can do is a few different levels and layers. So we'll let a little bit of light and a little bit of air through, but at the same time, you still have that privacy screen with different layers with plants, like maybe even like a bamboo or a hedge layer like a pineapple guava or something.
Oh, okay. Right here, we're planning on doing a rolling glass door.
Okay.
The bottom half will be frosted glass, and then we'll have another big window over here.
Okay.
So is there a way that we can build something that will help block some of the sunlight coming in?
Yeah, so what we could probably do is like small little boxes aesthetic boxes, and what we'll do is we'll probably run some vines, but instead of doing the evergreen vines, we'll do something like a temperate vine, like a grape or a kiwi, And because on the east and west of a property, it's a really useful thing to put those vines, and basically in the summertime and the spring, you impede the light with the foliage because they'll take on all their growth. And then the fall and the winter, they're gonna lose their leaves. So you can let the light in. So basically this light during this time of year, it's really hot, so it's gonna heat up your house and just be a little bit too much, you know, in terms of light inside. But something in the winter and the fall, you want the light to come in, so vice versa.
This is the front of our house right here. And because of privacy and security issues, we are going to raise the concrete up.
Okay.
And we're gonna have a privacy fence with a gate. We don't want people walking up, looking in the door, or when we open the door, we don't want any surprise visitors.
And then from the street too, people driving by.
Exactly. So we need to plant something out here that can go along the planters that are gonna be up high, that can grow and kind of give us more security and privacy.
All right, so my first thought right here is you mentioned you want privacy. So one of the first principles we're gonna use is we definitely want evergreens. We want something that's gonna keep their leaves, their foliage year round. That way they don't shed their leaves and, you know, let that light, let that vision in that you wanna impede from the street and from people walking by. And the second thing is we probably wanna do layers. So, you know, something like an olive tree is gonna, you know, grow up at about probably 2 or 3 foot and then spread out. But you know, something like a rosemary will get the layers below that, so visually you'll stop people from seeing them too. So what we'll do is we'll probably do a layer like an olive tree with rosemary underneath it, maybe some basil on one of the other beds, and then something like a ground cover like a mint. I know you said you like mojitos.
I love a mojito, that's perfect.
Yeah, so you got a little bit different layers and great smells. You know what I mean? So if you rub up against the rosemary, it's gonna smell great. If you rub against the mint, it's gonna smell great too.
Okay. And it's not something somebody can reach in and pick because they're not gonna want that kind of stuff.
And they're not gonna recognize it as even an olive tree or even avocado. People are gonna walk right by it and not even mention or recognize that there's fruit on there. So, you know, the threat of theft, very little, very low.
So what did we learn? For starters, food forests are fascinating. With the right planting, we can grow one almost anywhere, and they're low maintenance. We also learned no matter what climate we are in, microclimates can help us grow whatever we want. I can't wait to start gardening, but I have to because construction starts soon and things are about to get crazy. You'll see what I mean in the next episode.